today, and welcome to our podcast. With the Olympics coming up this summer, we thought it would be interesting to delve into the background and reality of the ancient Greek Olympics. Dun dun dun!
Originally, the Games were founded in 776 BCE as part of a religious festival to honor Zeus. He was the god of the sky and the leader of the Greek gods who lived on Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in Greece.
The Olympics also began as a fitness and endurance workout in order for male soldiers to prepare for the intensity of war. The distance of the foot race was about 700 feet.
Oh my Zeus. This is so boring. Jack, please try and keep me awake with interesting facts, although I doubt that could happen in your situation.
Well, I do have a story for you. Once upon a time, there was a king from Pisa who had a beautiful daughter named Hippodamia.
What a name! Imagine bubbling that on a Scantron.
You're a bubble on a Scantron. Ha!
Anyway, an oracle told the king that Hippodamia's future husband would kill the king, so the king decreed that all the young men who want to marry his daughter must drive away with her in a chariot, decided upon in a race. Long story short, Pelops and Hippo fell in love and caused the king to crash and die, and lightning struck his palace. Pelops won and began chariot races every year to honor the gods and the king. Many years later, at the site of Pelops' tomb in Olympia, Hercules founded the first ever Olympic Games to honor Zeus. The end.
What a beautiful story. Imagine if lightning struck Jack. Wouldn't we all be so upset?
Another myth which concerns the beginning of the Olympic Games is that of Idaeus Dactylos Heracles, otherwise known as Hercules. According to other myths, Zeus, the father of humanity, fought and defeated Kronos in a struggle for the throne of the gods. Hercules staged the games in Olympia in honor of Zeus, because he had helped him conquer Elis when he went to war against Augeas.
Enough with the stories. What really went down? Except for Jack's confidence in early 2010.
One day, you won't wake up.
Athletes of the ancient Olympics included all free men, regardless of social status. They came from all over Greece to compete. Despite being mortal, the legacies of competitors who won were immortalized, and the stories of their successful endeavors were told generation after generation. Only men were allowed to partake in the competition. Women were usually confined to their traditional roles and were not seen as warriors.
Sexist.
Well, actually, Caniska, daughter of King Archidamus of Sparta, was the first woman to be listed as an Olympic victor in antiquity. Her chariot won in the 4-horse chariot race in the 96th and 97th Olympiads. In the Olympic Games, it was forbidden for women to be present, and Caniska broke with tradition, since in the equestrian events, the victory wreath, or katinos, was won by the owner, not the rider of the horse.
No one cares what you have to say, Jack. Ooh, did you know men ran racers without any clothes on? Just butt naked, striding into the horizon? Free and wild, hair flowing in the wind? Wouldn't you love to have your teeny, tiny, little hair flow in the wind, Jack?
You little!
The Olympics also provided political toleration, if not cooperation. The concept of the Olympic truce was introduced in the 9th century BCE. During the truce, normally hostile city-states allowed for the safety of their citizens throughout the time period of the Olympics to promote trade and prosperity.
Now that he's taken care of. So, what kind of events did they host?
Some of the original events were the pentathlon, which consisted of a foot race, javelin throwing, long jump, discus, and wrestling. There was also boxing, chariot racing, and pankashron, which was a bit of a wrestling match with a little bit of boxing and almost no rules whatsoever.
So, did people have to bring their own supplies to compete? Ha! BYOC! Bring your own chariots!
Oh my gosh, you're so dumb.
Although the events themselves were harsh, the punishments for not following the rules were even harsher. Fines were constantly being given out among athletes and judges. Once, a man was so intimidated by his opponents that he left the day before he was supposed to compete. Later, he was fined by the judges for cowardice.
Oh, I think I've heard enough about the ancient Olympics.
We will now take a brief break for our sponsors.
This podcast is sponsored by Greco. Did you know that 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on chariot insurance? Call in now, and we will throw in the gold-trimmed Chariot 2000 for free. This chariot is complete with cup holders, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and more.
Please be advised that the free chariot does not come with a free horse. The chariot is not assembled, it comes without instructions. Side effects of incorrectly assembling the chariot might and probably will lead to an immediate and painful death.
Act fast! This deal only lasts so long. Call 1-800-GRECO. Again, that's 1-800-GRECKO.
Must be 18 years or older to order.
Greco!
Welcome back. Let's continue our intense discussion of the Olympics. Since we've covered the ancient Olympics pretty well so far, we thought we'd dive into the more recent influences the modern Olympics have had on our different countries.
Okay, well, the Olympics took a turn for the worse once the Romans invaded Olympia in 86 BCE. The Romans did continue the Olympics under their rule, some even reviving the splendor of the games from the old days. However, the Olympics became part of a pagan festival, so when the Christian emperor Theodosius I ordered the closure of all pagan events in 393, the ancient Olympics came to an official end.
After the ancient games were banned, a new era of Olympics came about. The modern Olympics started in 1896 by Pierre de Coubertin. The Olympic Committee met for the first time in Paris in 1894 and decided that the first modern Olympic Games should be held in Greece.
Something interesting to consider is that while the ancient Olympics stress personal glory, the modern Olympics promote a team and national pride as opposed to the individual and personal glory. So international politics became even more important.
Right! One of the first and most well-known politically influenced Olympic Games were those of 1938. The 1938 Olympic Games were intentionally awarded to Germany so the Republic could show that it had regained its status among European countries. With the Nazis in power, however, Adolf Hitler used the event to try to prove his theory of racial superiority. His attempt failed as African-American athlete Jesse Owens became the hero of the Games, winning 4 gold medals. Oh my Zeus, I hate politics.
I hate you.
I guess some things never change. Nowadays, more and more events are being added to the Olympics.
In fact, the International Olympic Committee recently recognized Ultimate Frisbee and the World Flying Disc Federation. It was considered over baseball and other sports. Ultimate is likely going to be in the 2024 Olympics.
Yeehaw!
Anyhow, track and field and other running events are still very popular, but recent Olympics have led to the rise in popularity of others such as swimming, gymnastics, and team sports like soccer and basketball. Plus, as of 1900, women were able to fully compete. Yay, women!
Another interesting fact about the modern Olympics is that the rings were to be used on flags at the 1916 Games, but those games were canceled because of the ongoing World War. The rings made a belated appearance at the 1920 Games in Antwerp, Belgium.
Now this is getting interesting. Did you know that Coubertin, the designer of the Olympic rings, explained his design in 1931? A white background with 5 interlaced rings in the center, blue, yellow, black, green, and red, is symbolic. It represents the 5 inhabited continents of the world, united by Olympism, while the 6 colors are those that appear on all national flags of the world at the present time.
That's fascinating. Well, I think we're getting played off.
To recap, the ancient Olympics were filled with interesting myths and weird traditions, eventually influencing the modern Olympics we know today. Thanks for listening to our podcast.